Sounds
Good evening, everyone. We're so glad you're able to join us for our 20th annual Blue and Gold celebration, honoring extracurricular, co-curricular activities of our students. My name is Matt Bott, and I'm honored and excited to be your host tonight. A quick note before we begin, Mr. Goss wanted me to remind the audience viewing from home tonight to adjust your screens for the brightness of my bald head. All I can say to that is, Mr. Smith, if you think that's funny, you are balder than I am. While our delivery of this event is different than it has been in the past, the spirit of this night remains the same. Tonight is a chance to come together and celebrate the excellent things that happened in this building in 2020. Well, I'm ready, if you are, so here we go. Please join us on whatever device you are on in singing our national anthem, presented for you here by Emily Clausen. We are here this evening to celebrate Bow Valley sports, fine arts, school groups, school spirit, and community service activities. Sadly, a number of activities were not able to run this year due to COVID-19. To those groups, we missed watching your seasons unfold and can't wait to see you in action next year. Thank you, Mrs. Hansford, for putting together the program, which can be found on the website if you'd like to follow along. Before we begin the formal program, we'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our staff sponsors, community coaches, and team supporters. And of course, big thanks to the participants and their families for making Bobcat activities the best they can be. This school year, Bow Valley High School continued to set high standards for extracurricular activities within Rocky View schools, and we're very proud of our achievements. This success is due to the tremendous effort that is put into our athletic, artistic, and community service related programs. Our Bobcats worked hard, took risks, and showcased their abilities and talents in ways that were among the best in the province. Some teams or individuals went on to divisionals, reached zones, or provincials. Others strengthened connections here in Cochrane through advocacy, performance, and servant leadership. All of it confirmed Bow Valley as a community that not only achieves at a high level, but strives above all to contribute positively to the world around them. A heartfelt congratulations to all students and staff who put time and energy into making BVHS exceptional. This year, each activity has chosen award categories that best represent the excellence demonstrated by its students. The students receiving awards this evening are those who consistently strive for and achieve excellence. They are being recognized for their initiative, positive attitudes, and willingness to learn and grow. They include students who are dedicated, motivated by teamwork, passionate about their craft. And they are those who often lead by example on a daily basis, showing ability, agility, enthusiasm, and true Bobcat spirit. Okay, let's begin. Program Director, Adrian Fosham. This will be the second year that Mrs. Fosham has offered advanced acting and touring at Bow Valley. Students began the course with the goal of performing at the Zone 5 one-act drama festival. Even though the event did not go forward, this outstanding group of students continued working to create 3 unique online performances that they shared with friends, family, and community. We are so proud of our students for adapting to these unprecedented circumstances. And the award winners are Excellence in Technical Theater, Toby Carter. Excellence in Acting, Jet DeVost and Adriana Rosso. Excellence in Playwriting, Bailey McLaughlin. Excellence in multiple categories, Tanner Gerhardt. Excellence in Directing, Sebastian Solomon and Riley Pathrath. JV Boys Basketball, Coach Wade Horb, CJ Cuesta. Staff sponsor, Craig Lucas. The JV Boys Basketball program had, by far, their best season in years. The team came together early and went on to win gold in one of their tournaments and bronze in 2 others. The boys also achieved their goal of finishing at least 3rd in Rocky View standings. Their dedication and work ethic sent a strong message to the rest of the league that boys basketball is back at Bow Valley. The boys are excited to build on their success next season. And the award winners are Rookie of the Year, Gershon Badisha. Most Improved Player, Jaden Boleski. Leadership, Carter McCaw. JV Girls Basketball, Coach, Stephanie Foley. Staff sponsor, Katie Cahoon. The BVHS JV Girls Basketball team had a great season full of fun and challenge. A few of our highlights were placing 2nd in the Olds Tournament and 3rd in the Cochrane Classic Tournament. The team fought hard every game and showed commitment and determination and represented the Bow Valley community extremely well. And the award winners are Most Improved Player, Piper McCormick. Heart Award, Jade Jansen and Ella Kruger. Coaches Award, Rachel Stewart. Most Valuable Player, Josie Powers. Senior Boys Basketball, Coach, Cameron Oliver. Staff sponsor, Janice Galloway. This year's team was filled with enthusiasm and a desire to improve, as the team was mostly first-year players, with some being new to the sport. The boys' enthusiasm and raw athletic talent came through in every game they played. Many of the players are looking forward to continuing the great experiences they had next season. And the award winners are Best Defensive Player, Ethan Crowley. Best Defensive Player, Ben Oliver. Most Sportsmanlike, Merrick Colton. Senior Girls Basketball, Coaches, Chris Nielsen, Patty Nielsen, Molly Castleton, Kiera Carter, Jessica Powers. Staff sponsor, Grant Howe. Senior Girls Bobcat basketball team had an extremely successful season. The team developed an amazing culture that showed in practice, on the floor, and everywhere else. Game in and game out, they showed commitment and demonstrated physical and mental toughness under pressure. The team went 27-6 overall, going undefeated in league play until losing the final in overtime. They won 4 tournaments, earning a provincial ranking in the top 12 and among the top 3 in the zone. Though their run to provincials was cut short, they represented themselves, their team, and their school with dignity, class, and passion. And the award winners are Heart Award, Parker Hubble. Rocky View School League All-Star Award, Natasha Boisvenu. Team Rocky View League MVP, Sadie Nielsen. Badminton. This season was unable to start as the school was closed. Bow Valley's Bobcat Book Club is in its 2nd year at Bow Valley High School, with staff and students coming together to share ideas about amazing books. The club took the school closure in stride and held their first discussion meeting on Zoom to discuss Homes, a refugee story by Abu Bakr Rabia and Winnie Young. The second read was The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. The group is already planning the reading choices for next year. Bring on that book love. Band, concert band, and jazz band. Music director, Rob Billington. Bow Valley Band students were busy this year with 2 concert bands, 3 jazz ensembles, and a new drumline group, a first for Bow Valley musicians. Although the year was cut short, they hosted 2 concerts, Remembrance Day ceremonies, and participated in numerous clinics with professional musicians. The group also traveled to Mount Royal University to view a spectacular performance by the Royal Canadian Artillery Band. The band program's big event came just as schools were closing, a mini tour to Edmonton in March. Our senior band played well at the festival, but sadly, the jazz ensembles were unable to perform due to the COVID-19 situation. The group had been looking forward to several other exciting performances, such as their 20th Food Bank benefit concert, the Rocky View Senior Honor Band, and of course, Black and White Night. Sadly, they also missed numerous festivals where they have a habit of winning awards of excellence. Bow Valley's band program will regroup and looks forward to a full year in 2020-21. And the award winners are Outstanding Musicians, Concert Band 9, Oliver Bowen, Anthony Giuliano, Fisher Linton, Tegan Lord. Concert Band 10, Zoe Boisvert, Logan Enders, Tavian Friesen, Ethan Hauser. Concert Band 20, Jocelyn Eckert, Charlotte Voss. Concert Band 30, Owen Adicat, Lola Boisvert, Danny Pedroza, Georgia Polishuk, Sean Proctor. Jazz Band 9, Jade Jansen, Shelby Pohl. Jazz Band 10, Toby Carter, Gavin Roper, Paige White. Jazz Band 20, Bryson Hammer, Thomas Hicks, Max Kruger. Jazz Band 30, Jaden Hibbert, Emily Clausen, Mackenzie Oswald, Sean Proctor. Cheer Team. Coaches, Maya Griskowski and Emma Griskowski. The staff sponsor, Tara Plouffe. The cheer season was cut short this year due to the school closure, but we're front and center in numerous school spirit events, football games, and an amazing performance at the Academic Awards Assembly. The squad would like to extend special recognition to Maya and Emma for their passion, expertise, and commitment this year. Cross country, Coach Monty Smith. This year we had a small team of talented runners who did extremely well at the zone championship, with everyone qualifying for provincials. And the award winners are Heart Award, Michaela Murphy. Most Improved, Avery McGuinness. Most Outstanding, Sophia Weston. Curling. Coaches, Eric Richard, Gord Goss, Beth Schneeberger. This year's team had the best turnout we've seen in years. We had 9 teams participating in Monday practices. We had a combination of experienced club curlers and beginners that all got better as the season went on. We finished with great representation at the Rocky View Divisional Bonspiel, where the Bobcats were definitely the ones having the most fun on the ice. And the award winners are Most Improved, Morgan Groves. All-Star Award, Max Kruger. Rookie of the Year, Wilson McNabb. Football. Coaches, Caleb Clark, Matt Lane, Don Teese, Carl Bauer, Greg Tommy, Scott Allard. Staff sponsors, Scott Allard, Greg Tommy. Bow Valley football saw outstanding growth this season. Shaking things up with a new coaching staff, the team saw continual improvement, wrapping up the season with a few wins and a renewed sense of determination for 2020. Coaches want to especially thank all of the graduating players for their outstanding leadership this past season. And the award winners are Offensive Player of the Year, Ben Oliver. Defensive Player of the Year, Merrick Coltman. Most Valuable Player, Ethan Caldwell. Golf. Coaches, Matt Baugh, Greg Anholt, Jared Hooper. Every year, golf is the first team up and running. The golf team of 3 athletes was small in number, but showed big effort. Although the players didn't feel they had their best rounds during the tournament at Links Ridge, the team posted some great rounds of golf elsewhere, and our youngest player was the division champion at the end of the day. It was a great way to start the Bobcat season. And the award winners are Most Improved, Nolan Benoit and Josh Wine. Most Valuable Player, Zach Hademak. Leadership. Staff Advisors Scott Thompson, Sheldon Betts. This was yet another year for leadership, laying the foundation for our learning community. The staff and students showed, again, why Bow Valley leadership has a reputation as one of the finest in the province. Our year started off with a week of welcome, featuring a dynamic performance by motivational speaker Carla Culietta, where students were challenged to take ownership of their school community. Week of Welcome set the tone for the year and helped new students to engage with the school. Halloween Havoc once again saw massive student and staff participation, which carried over into Bow Valley's Christmas celebrations, which have become famous in the Cochrane community. Whether it was hosting 180 kindergarten kids for the day, or racing around the hallways for reindeer tag, Bow Valley students were treated to the most fun and engaging holiday seasons in all of Rocky View. The highlight of the Christmas season was leadership's Helping Hampers Drive, which raised thousands of pounds of food for future Bobcat families. We appreciate the enthusiasm of staff participating in all the activities that continue to make Bow Valley the unique community that it is. With genuine hearts, the leadership group consistently gives all to contribute towards creating a caring atmosphere at Bow Valley. We continue to be grateful for how leadership builds the Bobcat culture with spirit and authenticity. And the award winners for Bow Valley student leadership are Hart, Riley Paffrath, Rookie, Toby Carter, MVP, Sophia Weston. Performing Arts. Directors, Adrian Fosham, Jackie Cholach, Marsha Williams Day. This was another marquee year for Bow Valley Performing Arts, highlighted of course by the full Broadway musical Rock of Ages. The production was the epitome of late 80s rock scene, full of big hair, overblown egos, and stretched spandex that had the audience singing along the entire time. The new Tech Theater program was also an outstanding professional learning opportunity for all. Students created a light and dance spectacle for audiences to see, and all were astounded at the professionalism of the show and students, both on and off the stage. Performing Arts continued to be family this year, encompassing all learners, additionally providing entertainment for students with a weekly improv club at lunch, as well as providing outreach into our community. We are so excited about the drama program at Bow Valley. All performing arts students deserve to take a bow. The award winners are Rookie, Owen Myers, Theo Blau, Hart, Bailey McLaughlin and Liam Richardson, Most Valuable Performer, Toby Carter. Schoolboys Rugby. The rugby teams were able to get a few practices in before the school was closed. The team saw students from Bow Valley and Cochrane High come together with 38 girls and 50 boys involved. Thank you to our community coaches for the time and work you gave to all of our students. Bow Valley QSA. Advisors Grant Howe, Larissa West, and Ashley Cheney. Bow Valley's Queer Straight Alliance was once again a meeting place for Bobcats to connect and support Cochrane's LGBTQ2+ community. Among the projects interrupted by the pandemic were the popular tie-dye t-shirt day and working with the town of Cochrane and the Boys and Girls Club of Cochrane around a rainbow crosswalk for the downtown. QSA is excited to carry these initiatives forward into next year. Boys soccer. This season was unable to start as the school was closed. Girls soccer. Coaches, Beth Schneeberger and I. Soccer has been called a beautiful game. Our Bow Valley girls played some beautiful soccer this year. A group of 20 girls representing each grade in our building gelled as a team right from the start of our first 7:30 a.m. morning practice. Our confidence and skill progressed each week after that. Despite being one of the youngest teams in our division and one of the smallest schools, we pushed every team we played against to their limits by the end of the year. For the first time, we hosted the division championship this year. We avenged a regular season loss and came up short by 1 goal in the final, placing second in the division. The girls worked really hard all season and were a pleasure to coach. I'm excited to see the impact we have on our league next year. Great work, girls. The award winners are Heart and Hustle, Piper Stevenson. Rookie, Sydney Whale. Offensive Players of the Year, Autumn Carr and Sophia Priest. Defensive Player of the Year, Michaela Murphy. Students for Change this year had a primary focus on preparing for a service trip to Cambodia to work with Steps of Justice organization. This trip was to be a 12-day trip to work with a very vulnerable community just outside the capital of Phnom Penh. Our students had prepared diligently through retreats, documentaries, service learning, and background readings. Bow Valley students were eager to serve and work with Cambodian children who had been trafficked or at risk of being trafficked. The Students for Change is made up of a tremendous group of students who deeply understand the importance of servants' leadership, tackling injustice, and leaving a legacy. Thanks. Technical Theatre. Directors, Adrian Fosham, Marsha Williams-Day. This was the first year that Bow Valley was able to run a full technical theatre class in conjunction with the Performing Arts program. The students in the technical theatre program were an integral force in this year's outstanding production of Rock of Ages. Theatre tech students play a major role in stage management, sound design, lighting, and set props, as well as costumes and makeup. From the creation and design of pre-production to the heartbreaking end of post-production, these students were involved in all aspects of the show. This talented group of individuals demonstrated outstanding commitment, working long hours to see that Rock of Ages 80s musical flashback was a spectacular production. The award winners are Technician of the Year, Toby Carter. Technician Theatre Heart, Keith Radford, Guy Farrell. Most Valuable Technician, Toby Carter and Tiana Davidson. Track and Field. This season was unable to start as the school was closed. Junior Girls Volleyball. Coaches, Lindsay Donater, Christy Stark. The coaches said it was a little difficult to find the right words to describe the team season because they don't believe that it's always about wins and losses. The JV girls showed a lot of improvement throughout the year, even though the scores may not have shown it. 3 referees each spoke to the coaches regarding how much they had witnessed the team improve in our short season, complimenting the girls and their gameplay. Hard work, dedication, and effort could describe all of the girls this year. That being said, there were students who did stand out as award recipients for this year's Blue and Gold. The award winners are Most Improved Team Players, Sarah Trahan and Abby Stark. Art, Josie Powers. MVP, Shay Jeffries. JV Boys Volleyball. Coaches, Nathan Goss, Gord Goss, Eric Pritchard. This year's team was infused with a lot of energy by the new head coach, Bobcat alumni Nathan Goss. The team rallied around his energy and expertise to develop great fundamental skills and motivation on the court. The team was busy playing in tournaments in Airdrie, Red Deer, and Brooks, as well as Rocky View Schools League. The highlight of the year was beating the eventual zone champions Bird Church 17-15 in the 5th set right here in the Bow Valley Gym in a nail-biting best-of-5 match. The boys started the year inexperienced and left being able to beat any team in the league. Go Bobcats. The award winners are Hustle, Andrew Grund and Taylor Kellett. All-Star, James Vliestra. MVP, Carter Kuch. Senior Girls Volleyball. Coaches, Chantel Templeman, Heather Holliday, Lauren Cave. The senior girls volleyball team ended their season in a four-way tie for third place after gaining some late season momentum. The girls were always very excited about Miss Holliday's home game baked treats, but less excited about morning practice. With the majority of our players in grade 11, we are all excited to see what these girls bring in their senior year. Thanks for all the laughs and hard work, girls. The award winners are Coaches Award, Haley Hodell. MVP, Kaylee McIntosh. Congratulations to all recipients. It's now time for some special presentations and finally, the major award categories for this evening.
Blue and Gold has been a tradition here at Bow Valley High School for 20 years. Blue and Gold is held every year to celebrate and honor all of Bow Valley's top students for their achievements in athletics, fine arts, and school service groups. All students that are being honored today in our virtual awards ceremony know the dedication and commitment it takes to achieve a high standard of excellence in their respective field. Another member of our BVHS learning community understands this same level of commitment and dedication it takes to building a learning community that strives for this excellence. This individual has put in countless hours as a member of Bow Valley High School's grad committee, and every single grad ceremony since Bow Valley opened their doors has been influenced and brought to fruition from the hard work of this individual. 18 straight years, this individual has provided our grad class with the guidance necessary to make our students' monumental day special. Now I know that this year has been especially difficult for all of our grads and their families due to the current pandemic, but one individual never became complacent or unmotivated to adapt, change, and restructure an entire grad production. Our very own Miss Marchand has always forged forward with the unwavering commitment to the greater good for all members of the Bow Valley High School learning community. Miss Marchand is also graduating this year from high school after 36 years of teaching. Miss Marchand has been teaching at Bow Valley High School for 20 years and has been the mathematics department lead for 18 of those 20 years. If you have any questions on how hard that job is, just imagine leading, mentoring, and providing guidance to teachers like Mr. Yannick, Mr. Devine, Mr. Anholt, and of course myself. Miss Marchand did this impossible task with grace, humor, and steadfast dedication to the betterment of all learners at Bow Valley High School. Throughout her career, Miss Marchand has always been an amazing educator, leader, colleague, friend, and mentor. Her legacy and dedication to the profession of teaching will be present here at Bow Valley High School for another 20 plus years. Terry, it has been an honor to get an opportunity to work alongside you and become such close friends. Miss Marchand, I know you're extremely disappointed that you don't get to give a reply speech because, well, you love that sort of thing so much. But I can assure you, we are truly grateful for your commitment and dedication to Bow Valley High School. Congratulations to you on such a wonderful career. Enjoy your retirement, Terry. We will now transition to a few others that would like to commemorate this milestone too.
I decided to shoot this video outside because this is what Miss Marchand's retirement's going to start out like, outside, enjoying the gorgeous weather at her retirement home in BC. So Terry, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the grad committee. Over the years, you've touched so many kids' lives, I mean beyond teaching, of course, but you have been such a huge part of our committee and preparing grad every year for your entire time there. Thank you for always lending a hand, for always coming up with solutions and great ideas, ways we can do things, and being an awesome partner in crime. I really appreciate everything you've done. This isn't goodbye, this is see you in a while.
Well, Marchand, I guess you decided you finally had enough of us in the math department. I don't blame you. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you for being such a great leader for our department and our school. And what stands out to me most is the culture that you help to foster, where there's an open door policy, and when we have something to talk about, we just hash it out in a no nonsense kind of way. And also how much you care about each and every one of us in the building. And congratulations.
Mrs. Marchand, you will be missed at Bow Valley for so many reasons. We wish you all the best in your retirement. When we asked people what word they would use to describe you, here's what they had to say.
Mrs. Marchand is my friend and mentor.
Mrs. Marchand is mindful.
Funny.
Mrs. Marchand is dedicated.
Miss Marchand is a mentor.
Terry Marchand is passionate.
A sweetheart.
Mrs. Marchand is patient.
Mrs. Marchand is accommodating.
Mrs. Marchand is caring.
Mrs. Marchand is gregarious.
You got moxie.
Mrs. Marchand is young at heart.
Mrs. Marchand is dedicated.
Mrs. Marchand is math magical.
Mrs. Marchand is encouraging.
Mrs. Marchand is legendary.
Miss Marchand is caring and smart.
Mrs. Marchand is committed.
Mrs. Marchand is Hooper's work bestie.
Mrs. Marchand is dedicated and says get off the phone.
Miss Marchand is motherly.
Marchand is steadfast.
Marchand is excellence.
Mrs. Marchand is a team player.
Mrs. Marchand is bringing numbers alive.
Terry Marchand is decisive.
Mathematics is the language of the universe. It is the cornerstone for the technological advancement of the human race. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, Miss Flamille.
I want you to multiply 47 times 83.
Oh, it's multiplication, it's math education. Hey, Albert Einstein said that it's so easy to do. It's simple, it's breezy, it's fun and it's easy. So buy a calculator and study this stuff later. Maybe someday you can multiply numbers 2, 3, 4, 5. Recess!
And we would be remiss if we did not take a few moments more to acknowledge another member of our Bobcat family who is leaving us in June, the ever amazing and often sarcastic Mr. Howe. Without a doubt, we will miss him immensely, but his legendary qualities of standing up for what is right, leading by example, and shining his light of good into the world will be the legacies he leaves behind him. When others were asked about this great man, here is what they had to say.
So today we say bye to Mr. Howe as he moves on to doing something else and different opportunities. And we lose a giant. We really do. In Sports Illustration's world, we're losing the Scottie Pippen of social studies. We're losing the Mark Messier of social studies. Mr. Howe is one of the top 5 social studies teachers in the entire province. And that's not just me blowing smoke or saying nice things. I remember being up in Edmonton marking exams and people knew who Mr. Howe was. And he set standard for marking and creating questions for the entire province. And as you met people, they would say, oh yeah, Grant Howe, yeah, he's one of the top 5 social studies teachers in the province. So we lose big when Mr. Howe leaves. We wish him the best of luck. And I thought I'd just have a few things for Mr. Howe and about Mr. Howe. One of them is I talked to some current students and some former students, and the language they used consistently was, you have not had the Bow Valley High experience until you've had a Social 30 class with Mr. Howe, which speaks volumes to him. Mr. Howe, for his last 15 years here, has really shaped Bow Valley and who we are and what we value, and even the things that we do are because of Mr. Howe. During his time here, he has served as athletic director, and I had to put a list down just to try to remember some of the things that he's done. He coached volleyball for a whole bunch of years. Then he worked as his staff sponsor for basketball and said, oh yeah, even though I'm busy adjudicating other basketball refs and that sort of thing, he said, hey, I'll be a staff sponsor for that, and traveled all over the province as a staff sponsor for basketball. Students for Change. He was always involved in Students for Change. And Mr. Howe would show up for bottle drives and do whatever gross, dirty job had to be done. Mr. Howe, you could always count on him to be that guy to say, hey, I want to support and I want to come alongside and I want to help. And that just speaks to who he is. He was always the guy that would help us on sound in any leadership event or any gala we've done in the past. He would always come in and just check that the mics were working and the sound equipment was working well, and just do it quietly and unassuming. And that's just kind of his very nature in many ways. He supported absolutely every leadership event. He was a blackjack dealer for some fun money casinos that we did. He did roulette he did all sorts of things, and always would show up and donate generously. Mr. Howe's classes could always be counted on to raise some of the most amount of food in any food drive that we ever did, and quite consistently. He wouldn't say very much about it, but all the food would come in and all the money would come in, and then he would match the entire class. You might have a class of 35, 40 kids, and he single-handedly would say, I'll match all of the money and all the food that you do and bring it in, because he was committed to social justice and social change and having an impact and that sort of thing. And that's very much Mr. Howe. I've had a chance to go do lots of field trips with Mr. Howe. And as I came into school to video this, even just right up above me there is a couple, 3 different pictures. He led us through Europe and tours all over the place. Fond memory was helping Mr. Howe get a new passport in Berlin. When someone had stolen his, I got to spend an entire day in the Canadian consulate in Berlin helping Mr. Howe get out of the country. Other trips were less eventful, but just always very good, very well planned, orchestrated. All the details were taken care of. Also had the chance to go down to San Diego with Mr. Howe and serve down there and serve with the refugee community and the homeless community. And Mr. Howe was willingly, oh yeah, I'll come along, I'll help out, I'll drive kids, I'll do whatever's needed. And sleeping on a floor to provide space for other kids so other people could have it better. That was just very much Mr. Howe. Since then, he's done all sorts of things as well. The QSA, and doing something significant there, finding a place for kids, helping them connect. And I would say being an advocate for them, and then kind of standing up to injustice or marginalization. That would be the things that Mr. Howe will be known for, but really being an advocate for kids in so many ways. Mr. Howe is a deep thinker. We've had piles of political and religious and spiritual and existential conversations, and always challenging my own thought process and what does it look like and who should we be and that kind of thing. He has guided me to be a far better social studies teacher and have a much richer understanding of the principles of democracy and globalization and liberalism and all the things that students get to have with him. And like they said, you haven't had the Bow Valley High experience until you've had Mr. Howe and Social Studies 30. I mean, to me, more important than all that, Mr. Howe's been a friend and an advocate and an ally and a real builder of community and connection here at Bow Valley, and we wish you well, Mr. Howe.
Hi, Grant. I just wanted to say thank you for being such a mentor to me over the years. You were my go-to person whenever I had questions about politics or current events, and I always appreciated the passion that you've had for the subject that you taught. You've been an inspiration to so many, myself included, and it's clear to see that from current and former students' messages to you on social media and your collection of grad photos on your wall. When I first came to Bow Valley, I wasn't sure how I fit into this Bobcat family in the social studies department, and you were so welcoming and you made it really easy for me to find my place here, so thank you. When I first came, I heard a lot about John Davidson and how he was a mentor to you, and I want you to know that that's what you were to me. You were my John Davidson. So I wish you well, At your new school, we will miss you. They are very lucky to have you.
I'd like to take some time to thank Mr. Howe for being a part of the wonderful BVHS staff community. Thank you, Mr. Howe, for being an amazingly caring and passionate teacher in the hallways and classrooms of our school. I would also like to thank you for your continued support with our school's GSA, which would not be possible without you. Good luck with your move to Burt Church. They love you as much as we do, Mr. Howe.
Well, Grant, congratulations, buddy. I'm happy for you and your new adventure at Burt Church next year. You know, we've worked together a long time, and I remember when you first arrived at Bow Valley after making a major career change. And when I think of the guts it took to leave one career for another, all I can say is that we're all glad you did. To say that you're an excellent teacher is an understatement. You've always been a huge part of what made Bow Valley great. I don't know if Burt Church knows what they're getting, but I sure know what we're losing. I need to say it's been a pleasure to work with you, and I wish you the best next year. Thanks, Grant.
And I want to take this opportunity to thank you for everything you've done for the school and for me. Since I got here 3 years ago, I've learned so much about being a better teacher and about being a better person from you. I've been so lucky to have you as a mentor, and Burt Church is so lucky to have you coming to help them. I'm really excited for you on your next adventure, and I hope that one day I will be half as good a social studies teacher as you are. That being said, I don't know who's going to reply to the reply all emails with memes. I'm not going to do that, but I hope that someone does take up that burden. Thank you very much for everything that you've done. Once again, I consider you a friend and a mentor, and I hope that you really enjoy your time at Burt Church. If I had one word that could describe Grant Howe, it would be brilliant.
Mr. Howe is thought-provoking.
Dedicated.
Mr. Howe is generous.
Mr. Howe is a leader.
Mr. Howe is empathetic.
Mr. Howe is awesome.
Mr. Howe is passionate.
Mr. Howe is devoted. Mr. Howe is caring.
Mr. Howe is considerate.
Mr. Howe has immense integrity.
Grant Howe is quick-witted.
Mr. Howe. If I were to describe Mr. Howe in one word, it would be passionate. He is very passionate when it comes to his students, his colleagues, and definitely his craft. Mr. Howe brought a lot to Bow Valley. We went on some school trips. We went to Europe, we went to San Diego, and we had many fun adventures. Have a great time at Burt Church, Mr. Howe.
Mr. Howe is perfectly brilliant.
Mr. Howe is an advocate.
Mr. Howe is principled.
One word I would use to describe my friend and colleague Grant is courageous.
Passionate.
Integrity.
Motivating.
Mr. Howe is very wise.
Passion.
Thought-provoking.
Mr. Howe is attentive.
Mr. Howe is compassionate.
Mr. Howe is a mentor.
Mr. Howe is brilliant.
Mr. Howe is masterful.
Mr. Howe is witty.
Mr. Howe is invigorating.
Mr. Howe is passionate.
Mr. Howe is relatable and charismatic.
Mr. Howe is professional.
Grant is passionate.
Mr. Howe is a meme master and Power School master.
Howe is a media wizard.
Howe is already missed.
Mr. Howe is principled.
Mr. Howe got me hooked on jalapeno Cheetos.
Mr. Howe is authentic and dinosaurs.
Mr. Howe is invaluable.
Hi-ho! Hi-ho! Hi-ho!
First up is the Bow Valley Cares Awards, and Ms. Sly will be doing that presentation this evening.
This is the first year these awards are being presented. For 2019-2020, Bow Valley's staff statement was Bow Valley Cares. It stands for Connects Authentically, Responsively, Entirely, Supportively. This is the way in which we hope that all members of our learning community engage with each other and the world. Especially given the circumstances in our world right now, the committee felt it was important to honor the caring, compassionate, and amazing Bow Valley youth who are living this in action, both prior to the COVID pandemic and certainly as it continues. The recipients of the Bow Valley Cares Awards for 2019-2020 are C. Connects, Ethan Caldwell. A. Authentic, Theo Blau and Emma Novak. R. Responsive, Jade Jansen. E. Entirely Committed, Sharia Lupke. S. Supportive, Liam Richardson.
It's now time for the Bow Valley Citizenship Awards, which will be presented by Mr. Thompson.
For all the awards that were presented today, the notion or idea is that we want to celebrate what we want more of. Citizenship is that one of those particular awards. We want more students to be engaged in a powerful way. The Citizenship Awards are given to students nominated by the staff whose presence and contributions in our school have made the Bow Valley learning community a better place. Citizenship recipients embrace Bow Valley's guiding principles, live them out in our building, and carry them out into the community. These students participate in a variety of school activities and events and find a way to actively contribute and give back in meaningful and positive ways in all the different world places around them. They are students who build and fuel the Bobcat spirit and make our learning community better through character, attitude, and servant leadership. There are hundreds of students in Bow Valley who are actively involved in making Bow Valley what it is, but there are a few of those that do stand out from the crowd. These students are the citizenship recipients of 2019-2020. In grade 9, Ella Kruger, Madison Chevrier, Isabel Levisky. Grade 10, Toby Carter, Autumn Carr, Fiona Goodman. Grade 11, Jet DeVost, Michaela Murphy, Georgia Powers, Madison Switzer. Grade 12, Megan Bradbury, Riley Paffrath, Sebastian Solomon, and Sophia Weston. Congratulations, well deserved.
For the final 8 awards, a staff member has been asked to speak about the respective recipients and present the awards, which will be a director's chair with their award title and name silk-screened on the back.
I have the great pleasure of introducing one of this year's JV Athlete of the Year. This student is a phenomenal athlete, capable student, and inspiring leader. Her strong skills on the football team were responsible for many of our early points in the season, and her mastery of her position and growing skills apparent and well-earned considering her strong work ethic and dedication. On multiple occasions during the season, she was able to perform onside kicks to retrieve the ball after kickoff, sometimes more than once in a game, which is very impressive considering the other team knew that was happening. For a grade 10 student, she shows remarkable skills as a kicker. On the soccer team, her competitive nature helped her overcome an unfortunate leg injury from the year before. It didn't seem to slow her down at all, as she was a dominant force on the team, relentless and untiring. She had the distinction of winning Offensive Player of the Year in soccer and both team and league special teams Player of the Year in football. By this point, it is obvious that this award for JV Athlete of the Year goes to Autumn Carr.
Congratulations, Autumn.
Good evening. My name is Eric Bouchard, and it's an honor to present this year's JV Athlete of the Year. This year's Athlete of the Year has competed in both volleyball and basketball. Even though we didn't take it into account for this year, he competed in track and field last year, qualifying for zones in 3 different events. To say the least, he's a very well-rounded athlete. I'm sure this track and field description gave it away, so I'm pleased to announce that this year's JV Athlete of the Year is James Balestra. James is the type of student athlete you want on your team. He takes his academics very serious and does very well in school, and when it comes to sports, his coaches have been able to witness him showing up for practice with a positive attitude every day and works hard at improving his game. These attributes are always prevalent in our Athletes of the Year. As a volleyball player, James plays middle, and this is his first season playing at Bow Valley. There's a bit of a learning curve for him, but after a few matches, he started to dominate play at the net and started to take over matches by the end of the season. There was some times where he saw James frustrated on the court, but I was happy to see it, as it showed that he cared and he has a desire to win and become a better athlete. For the basketball team, his coach, Mr. Howe, mentioned that James was our starting center for most of the year. They weren't a very big team, and they relied on him heavily to guard the biggest players on the opposing teams. James played a large part in helping Bow Valley win 3rd place in Rocky View and will be a nice addition to the senior team next year. I'm looking forward to seeing James continue to be a strong student athlete for the next 2 years at Bow Valley. So congratulations goes out to our JV Athlete of the Year, James Balestra.
Congratulations, James. It's now time for the Performance of the Year presentations, kindly sponsored by GEI Regulatory Limited. I'll turn it over to Ms. Fosham for these presentations.
Good evening. It is our honor, 6 feet away of course, to present to you this year's Performer of the Year dual recipients. It's hard to find the words to truly express how highly we regard these individuals. Both students so deserving of this award, both setting an example of what PA means, and both truly exceptional in different ways.
It's fair to say that both of these students were not just looking for nothing but a good time.
We look back at the moment that the first recipient walked into the dram room at BVHS in grade 10. And from that moment, we knew how lucky we were. This student had remarkable talent and an unassuming presence that commanded the room. People immediately gravitated towards his energy, his spirit, his kindness. This student embodies exactly what PA means, living true to a group that dreams, laughs, plays, and loves together, those whom you can always count on, who are always present, not only in the good times, but also the bad.
He's a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night.
His very essence of being is this mentorship, family, and community. For example, as pressure mounted for this year's show, he showed leadership in asking to speak to the entire ensemble, bringing everyone to tears with his inspirational, encouraging words of coming together, not apart, in difficult and stressful times. He is a true leader who leads up. He has been an integral part of PA in the last 3 years, shining in improv, winning multiple awards at festivals, starring in lead roles in our last 3 productions, Sunny in Greece, Alex the Lion in Madagascar, and finally playing the lead of Lonnie in Rock of Ages, where he left it all on stage, pouring his whole energy and soul into an electrifying performance. He has a huge heart and isn't afraid to let the whole world know it. Our first recipient of Performer of the Year is the student with the huge heart, brilliant mind, and brave spirit.
I can't fight this feeling anymore.
The truly unforgettable Sebastian Solomon. Our second recipient is equally as rich and remarkable in different ways. He practices like he's never won and performs like he's never lost. On stage, he has passion, and you can't fake passion. However, passion plus consistency equals success. His performances are so captivating, the whole world drops away for that moment in time. He leads with professionalism and courage. He's always polite. Students trust him and respect him. Hey, Jack!
It's a fact they're talking in town.
In only grade 10, his natural talent and stage presence landed him the role of Danny Zuko in Grease, which he played flawlessly. Last year, he won multiple awards at Festival for directing and acting, as well as playing Skipper, as Cochrane Now reporter called him, the head penguin of Madagascar. He was memorable because he had fun and brought everyone up to his level of professionalism. Being a master of mimicry, truly embodying that character and nailing it every single time. Through his dedication and courage, he naturally became the type of leader that people would follow without any title or position, landing him the role of assistant director in his grade 12 year. He showed remarkable work ethic, set a quiet example, always thinking of acting and directing notes to further polish our performance, and always staying to clean up without being asked. Every mic, every water bottle, a true Bobcat from day one. Not only that, he stole the show, making the ladies scream as he put all of this to the test, creating the unique, memorable, and iconic character of the one and only Stacey Jacks.
During his performances this year, he probably felt like he'd seen a million faces and he rocked them all.
He truly did. He's remarkable in every way. This student does not get enough credit for the impact he truly has on stage, in our learning community, and the greater Cochrane community. Within him is the capacity to be anyone or anything. I hope he believes in the strength that is within him.
Don't stop believing. The talent will get you in the door, but kindness and humility are what keep you there.
We know you will go so far in life, and we will have your chair ready for you in the audience for next year's show. This year's second recipient of Performer of the Year, the one and only Riley Paffrath.
Congratulations, Sebastian and Riley. Now it's time for the Musicians of the Year, generously sponsored by the BVHS Music Society. Take it away, Mr. Billington.
Phenomenal ensemble playing, outstanding solos in many, many styles, amazing, consistent section leadership, tremendous musicianship, brilliant technique, never-ending creativity, always up for a challenge, consistent preparedness, significant contributor to multiple ensembles, creative, expressive, and on and on. These are all things one can say about a musician of the year. These are all characteristics of any truly great musical artist. At Bow Valley, we have had many stellar artists over the years. Some have gone on to wonderful careers in music, and some have gone down other paths while continuing to enjoy their music as a lifelong creative pursuit. Regardless of what comes after high school, today, with all of these awards, we celebrate young people who have stood tall and who have stood above in both their efforts and their achievements.
At this ceremony, we celebrate musicians of the year for their musicality, their extraordinary technique, their mad desire to go beyond the notes, to find that which is ephemeral, that which is in the ether, that which we know when we experience it, but can never fully describe. At this ceremony, we celebrate musicians who pursue that moment in the arts when our spines tingle, when the entire room holds its collective breath to revel in the spell of the moment, when the whole house rises to its feet in a spontaneous, exuberant ovation. Today we celebrate musicians who always strive to make the world a little better by the end of a performance than it might have been before the notes began. Today we celebrate our musicians of the year, Georgia Polischuk and Sean Proctor. Congratulations to both of you, and thank you for the wonderful music you made in your time at Bow Valley.
Congratulations, Georgia and Sean. Next up is the Senior Varsity Athlete of the Year Award, kindly sponsored by Cochrane Dodge, is next. So we'll turn it over to Mr. Howe to announce this award.
It is my privilege to acknowledge a most deserving recipient of Senior Varsity Athlete of the Year. This particular Bobcat has shown to be one of Bow Valley's strongest athletic competitors almost from the time she walked in the building 3 years ago. This year, she continued to excel in multiple sports and solidify her reputation around the South Central Zone as someone who competes with integrity and class. In addition to the Hart Award for cross country, she earned Defensive Player of the Year honors for both soccer and basketball, being called on each week to shut down the opposition's strongest players, a feat she delivered on time and time again. Her stifling defense on the basketball court also earned her the title of top defensive player in all of Rocky View for senior varsity girls, and was a key player on a team poised to make a run at a provincial berth until the season was cut short. More than being an exceptional athlete, this recipient exemplifies each and every quality that defines what it means to be a Bobcat. She is fiercely competitive and relentless on getting stronger, smarter, and more skilled each week, but she is also humble, gracious, and never fails to conduct herself in the spirit of fair play and sportsmanship. Despite putting hundreds of hours into practice and competition, she maintains the highest standards of academic excellence and shows tremendous commitment to her community through volunteering and countless acts of servant leadership. She is an example for student athletes at Bow Valley and everywhere else. Congratulations to the Bow Valley Senior Varsity Athlete of the Year, Michaela Murphy.
Congratulations, Michaela. Our final award for this evening is the Senior Varsity Athlete of the Year Award, which is sponsored by Interpipeline Limited. I'll turn it over to Coach Chris Nielsen for this presentation.
I'm here to announce the Bow Valley High School's Athlete of the Year. This player is a dedicated student athlete who excels in many facets of her life. She is just as committed to her schoolwork as she is to her community volunteer work as she is to her athletic endeavors. She puts a huge amount of effort and time into everything that she does, and it shows in quite literally everything that she does. For the Bobcat girls volleyball team, she was always positive and hardworking in practice. She really focused on developing her skill set and improving her weaknesses. She was a catalyst for positive energy by leading cheers, being the loudest voiced, and making matching team scrunchies. She was a coachable player who improved her serve and her timing for the middle attacks. For the Bobcat girls basketball team, she was a returning senior varsity girls team MVP and league rookie of the year and worked hard to develop a diverse skill set. She had a team first attitude where she willingly accepted every role that was thrown at her, whether that meant playing point guard, power forward, or post. On the court, she was a hardcore competitor, but she also went out of her way to give the opposing players a hug before the game, an encouraging cheer from the sidelines, a hand up when they fell, or a shoulder to lean on when they were injured. She was the epitome of sportsmanship and competitive fire all rolled up into one. As a teammate, she intentionally chose to see the positive. That was demonstrated in how she interacted with her teammates and how she played. She has been a key part in developing a wonderful team culture for every team that she's played for. Her individual accolades include major team awards, major RVSA league awards, numerous player of the game nods, and tournament MVPs. Her personal basketball achievements also translate into team success. Over the past 3 years, she boasts a personal high school record of 76-23, a 770 winning percentage that includes 10 tournament championships, 2 regular season first place finishes, 2 RBSA silver medals, and a zone championship. I dare say, without knowing all the stats of all the teams, of all the years, that this player could become the single most successful player in the history of Bow Valley basketball, both girls and boys, and all this despite the playoffs of one of those years being cut short. And she still has one more year to go. This year's Bow Valley High School Athlete of the Year is Georgia Powers. Congratulations, Georgia.
Congratulations, Georgia, and congratulations to all of the award recipients this evening. We truly have outstanding students at Bow Valley, don't we, folks? Like all of you watching from home, I've not been in this gymnasium for a long time. When I walked in through Bow Valley's halls to film and record today, I was thinking what this night is all about, and I was reminded of all that happens here in a year. It's amazing to think of the hours each program burns through in pursuit of excellence. As a group, we can all be proud of the effort and success on display this evening. I'd like to thank everyone for logging in tonight and joining us. I would like to thank you for all having me. Before we close for the evening, I'll turn it over to Bow Valley Principal, Mr. Jim Riley, who will finish off this evening with a final message.
I want to congratulate all the Bobcats whose achievements we're recognizing today. As the principal of this amazing school, I couldn't be any prouder of the staff, students, parents, and everyone who has come together. If there's one thing this community does well, it's recognizing excellence and celebrating that excellence. And that's actually easy because there are so many amazing things going on in our classrooms, fields, stages, and courts. Well, we're celebrating individual achievement tonight and the hard work, dedication, and commitment that entails. Those individual achievements are also a reflection of the great teams, dedicated staff, sacrificing parents who support, drive to practices, and selflessly give of their time and money to support our kids. I know all of this is given without hesitation, as when one succeeds, we all celebrate and share in that success. It is an obvious thing to say, but I do wish that everybody was here to take part in the celebration live and in person. If this global pandemic has taught us anything, it's that we can't take anything for granted. It's reminded us of the importance to strive, achieve, push ourselves, and do our best. It's also shown us the importance of connection and supporting each other, which, once again, is something that this community excels at. I'd like to extend a huge thank you on behalf of the entire Bobcat community to Mr. Baugh for hosting this event, to all the staff who jumped at the chance to come in and record their messages. In all honesty, we couldn't have stopped them if we tried. Thanks to the Blue and Gold Committee, in particular Mr. Richard, Mr. Howe for the script, Ms. Templeman for putting this video together, and the incredible Ms. Sly, whose passion, dedication, and true caring for this community is second to none. Thanks to the teammates, community coaches, staff volunteers, and parents, without whom none of this would be possible. Congratulations again to all the Bobcats celebrated this evening. I cannot wait to see you all again on the fields, courts, arenas, stages, and classrooms.